To master money, you have to be able to master yourself and your basic psychology, because knowledge alone is not enough, and you need to be able to behave the right way over a long period of time to be able to actually build wealth and invest for the future. So there are some good habits and behaviors that will help you move in the right direction toward building wealth, but there are also some very unhelpful behaviors that need to be mastered, because the unhelpful behaviors, or we can call them shadow behaviors, the shadow behaviors will derail you if you're not careful and if you don't have enough awareness of them. And this is where the psychology of money becomes really interesting. So in this video, I'm going to explore some of the right behaviors and the helpful things that will help you get to where you want to be, but then also really look into those shadow behaviors and just kind of become aware of them and help you think about how to not fall into those pitfalls. So first off, some of the helpful behaviors that will help you build wealth in the long run are going to be about consistently spending less than you earn, so then you have some money to be able to save and invest. Investing in the right thing, and this can be quite simple. You can just pick a tried and tested global index fund, for example. I like the FTSE Global All Cap Index Fund. I think it's accumulation, getting that wrong, but there are plenty. And the next habit would be constant learning and applying yourself, focusing on learning valuable skills that can help you increase your income in the future. So those are some really good habits that will help you. But now let's spend more time focusing on shadow behaviors and how your progress can be derailed even if you're doing the right things. One shadow behavior that's quite common for so many people is caring what other people think and letting that dominate your values. Because if you haven't thought through your values well enough, then it's very easy to be influenced by what other people are doing and what other people have, feeling like you need to compare yourself and go on fancy holidays that your friends are going on, or having to buy a nicer car than you need, or having like luxury experiences or designer clothing. There's always something more to compare yourself to, and that game, that status game, never ends. So it's a real trap to fall into. And the antidote to that is to really think through your values and what you actually like, not what other people like, but what you truly feel is important in your life. Because then you can decide if you really want to spend a lot of money on like fancy dinners, or you want to spend so much money on really nice travel. A good way to think about if it's really meaningful to you, or if it's something that actually is more about what other people think and perceive of you, is if you go on that really nice holiday and you couldn't post a picture of it on Instagram, would you still go on that holiday in that specific way, in that hotel, visiting the same places? Or would you behave differently? Because that's a very good way to tell if you're just making decisions based on what other people think, or how it looks, or the appearance of something. Another shadow behavior to avoid has got to be panic and how you deal with stress. So when it comes to investing in the stock market over the long run, if you're not used to investing in it and you're new to having your money in stocks that can go up but also come down, it's the come down that you have to be really careful of. And the crashes that I think a lot of people can really cause people to panic. It's easy to kind of think that, oh, I'll be all right. When the first crash comes, I'll be fine. It's not going to affect me. I'll just do the right thing. I won't sell. It's all good. But until you've actually experienced a crash, until you've experienced the hype that leads up to the crash as well, because the other side of fear is greed, until you've actually experienced that fear and held on through it, it's so hard to actually not start panicking and feel like you've lost all your money, or that it's all going to go wrong. So some ways to combat that are, first off, to spend some time actually looking into the crashes that have happened before and look at a chart, look at the general return of stocks over time, and realize that peaks and troughs are common and that crashes are actually expected. It's happened in the dot-com bubble in 1999. It happened in the 2008 financial crash. It's happened more recently with the stock market crashing and then heating back up again. Crashes happen and they need to be anticipated. So you need to really be prepared for it mentally. And that means not investing more than you can afford to invest, more money than you can afford to have locked up for the long term. But also it means just making sure that you have more of a sustainable approach. So it's better to invest frequently rather than invest really intensely, because you need to be able to stay in this for the long run to really get good returns. It takes time for compound interest to do its thing. So therefore you need to be investing over the long run, and to be able to do that, it needs to be sustainable. And therefore you need to make sure that you're not investing too much too soon. So starting small and really just building the habit of having your money regularly being invested is a really good way to kind of combat that. The last pitfall to avoid is greed and impatience and wanting the process to be too quick. I personally have some experience trading crypto. I was heavily involved in it over the coronavirus and the lockdowns, and I spent so much time and energy. I thought I was really smart because I made 300% returns at one point on my crypto investments, but the problem was I didn't realize the gains. I didn't know when to sell. I didn't know when was enough. And because of that, the market just came right down and crashed. And ultimately I ended up selling for a slight profit, but not much more than I originally invested. And it felt like a huge waste of time and a huge waste of my energy. It really felt like after all of that, I wasn't very happy with how I actually spent my time. It didn't feel good. And when the market was up 200 or 300%, which is crazy, I didn't actually feel that great about that gain. And it's a hard thing to kind of almost explain, because at the time, obviously, everyone wants to double and triple their money, but because it came so easily, it also came with a lot of stress, and I wasn't very prepared for that at the time. So I didn't actually enjoy the process of trading and investing crypto. It was way too volatile and it didn't work for me. So through experience, I've kind of learned that lesson of not wanting to be too impatient and wanting to make money too quick, because you can get lucky and you can make some good decisions or pick the right thing, but ultimately if money comes quickly, it's more likely to go quickly. And I was not ready or mature enough to be able to handle that level of growth and money, like just easy money. And so ultimately I didn't make the money, I didn't realize the gains, and it was a huge waste of time, but a valuable lesson to me. So I've kind of experienced some of those shadow behaviors myself. I've fallen prey to all of them, and on my journey I'm still learning, but I feel like I'm now in a better position to be able to kind of make money sustainably and grow wealth in the long run. And I've just been focusing on investing in index funds and making sure I maximize my pension contributions, and just focusing on doing things that will help me build more skills going forward. So looking at different ways I can kind of diversify my own income and do things that are difficult, like for example filming this video. I really enjoy it, but it's also come with its own discomfort. But really just stepping outside my comfort zone and pushing myself further, building up new skills, because it not only, I think, gives me better chances of building more wealth in the long run. It enables me to then provide more value to other people and have more of an impact. And that is something that actually is more motivating than just money itself. Because when it comes back to values, right? So we've got to link it back to values that I talked about at the start briefly. When it comes to values, then ultimately the real reason to get wealthy is to have freedom and have control of your time. It's not about status goods and about looking like someone that everyone else should envy. It's really about that control of time and, say, being able to retire earlier or having the option to work, right? Working in jobs that you choose to work in rather than having to out of necessity, which is where most of us are. Really about not having to worry about the mortgage and just having that kind of, that feeling of, call it abundance, where you just don't have to worry about paying the bills or stressing out. That's kind of the driving value. And then adding on to that, values of like contribution and helping other people with their financial education and bettering themselves on their journey and kind of transforming their relationship to money. That then is also a bit of a driving force for me. So connecting to those kind of higher values, those more positive reasons, can also be really helpful when it comes to preventing the shadow behaviors that will come up and sort of need to be addressed. And yeah, I find the game of money so interesting when it comes to psychology and self-examination and kind of becoming more of a, just using it as like a vehicle for self-improvement. I just find it so fascinating. So I feel like I've just gone off on a bit of a tangent there, but if you like this perspective and you want more videos like this, then you're in the right place. And I'll say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.